Well, good morning, everyone. Actually, you know something? I'm going to let the mayor go first, and then I'll go second. Sorry, Mayor. I jumped in there. I got too excited. Excellent.
Well, hello, folks. Good morning. And, folks, I have the best job in the world. I'm the mayor of a small town, Uxbridge, just up the road. It's where I grew up. It's where my parents met in high school. And it's where my parents ran farms. But the job of a small town mayor is a little bit different each day. Certainly this day is a little bit different than most. And it's great because of the people I get to work with. So I'm here this morning to talk about Peter Bethenfalvy, Doug Ford, and how they listen to guys like me and my fellow mayors across Durham Region. They held the OMPF, which is funding for small municipalities like mine. They doubled OSIF, which pays for infrastructure. And they've been providing support for our seniors, our youth, and helping with recreational infrastructure in the township of Uxbridge. They listen to mayors like me across Durham Region and scrap the unfair tolls of the 412 and the 418, which has changed how people move throughout Durham Region. It's revitalized the downtowns because it keeps that traffic out of those downtown cores. And I'm going to tell you a quick story about these men behind me. My good friend Peter Bethenfalvy invited me down to Queen's Park. I'd just gotten elected, invited me down to Queen's Park for lunch with Doug. And I had 3 items on my list when we went down. And folks, 2 out of those 3 have been looked after, including a brand new hospital for the township of Uxbridge. And this is the hospital that for decades we were concerned about losing. And part of that new hospital will be a 192-bed long-term care center. So, folks, I couldn't thank these gentlemen enough. There's one more item on the list to deal with. So let's get them reelected so we can finish what we started. And I'm here to introduce Doug Ford.
Thank you. Appreciate it. First of all, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Barton. You know something, what a great person Dave is, and thank you for everything you're doing for the families here in Uxbridge, a true champion for the people. It's great to be back here in the beautiful town of Uxbridge, and it's great to be here at Pickering Chrysler. And I just want to thank Sean and his entire team. What an amazing team you have here, so thank you for having us here. My friends, there's just so much growth happening across Durham, and it has never been more important to have strong local leadership, which is why I'm also proud to be here joined by our team, our PC candidates, my fantastic finance minister, and I always say about champions, Peter, you've been a true champion who just delivered on an incredible budget, Peter Bethenfalvy and Pickering Uxbridge, and we also have with us Patrice Barnes in Ajax, Lauren Coe in Whitby, Todd McCarthy in Durham, and Alex Down in Oshawa. We just have an incredible team in Durham here. Let me tell you, I love this part of my job, where you're able to get out of the Queen's Park bubble, as I say, and you go out there and you get to listen to the real people. And I know across Durham, like across Ontario, we've been through so much together. But I also know it's brought out the best in us. I see it every single day, everywhere I go. The resilience, the determination, the hope and optimism. There's a real momentum right now. I feel it everywhere I'm going. People are excited and they're ready. They're ready to take on the challenges that lay ahead, ready to get to work. Make no mistake, our best days are still ahead. But it's up to us. It's up to each and every one of us to roll up our sleeves, to get to work, to create jobs right here in Durham, to build more homes, more roads, more highways, and public transit, to get more money back into your pocket. My friends, it's time to finish the job. It's time to get it done. Together, we're tackling the biggest challenges and delivering real solutions. That means rebuilding Ontario's economy with better jobs and bigger paychecks. It means saying yes to building highways and transit to get you out of traffic. And it means working for workers as we get more people into the skilled trades. It means keeping our province and our economy open today and in the future. And it also means giving people a break, helping Ontario families keep costs down and putting more money back into your pocket. It hasn't always been this way. Stephen Del Duca and Kathleen Wynne, they made people pay. They made them pay higher taxes, higher fees, higher hydro rates, and higher costs for driving a car. Nowhere did people feel the pinch more than right here in Durham, where the Del Duca Liberals and put the road tolls on the 412 and the 418. They're actually punishing people for driving to work to provide for their families. But the Del Duca Wynne Liberals didn't stop there. They jacked up the cost of license plate stickers, created new costs and new hassles for drivers. And as for the NDP, they propped up those Liberal governments, and nobody expects them ever to bring costs down. The NDP has never seen a tax they didn't like. Well, we made a promise to do things differently, and we have. Starting with the road tolls on highways 412 and 418. We're scrapping the Liberal road tolls and giving families across Durham a real break. But we're not stopping there. We're also scrapping the license plate stickers that Stephen Del Duca loves so much and giving every Ontario driver their own money back, a total of $120 per year for the last 2 years. Friends, as much as they try to hide it, we all know the Liberals and NDP will bring back those tolls, and they'll bring back the license plate fees. Ontario can't afford it. You can't afford it. So while the Liberal and NDP say no, we're saying yes. Yes to scrapping the fees for the license plate stickers. Yes to getting rid of the tolls on highways 412 and 418. We're also saying yes to the gas tax cut. And yes, to building 1.5 million new homes so more families can afford to live in Ontario. Yes, to thousands of new auto jobs. We build electric vehicles right here in Ontario. And yes, to unlocking economic potential of Northern Minerals and Mines. And yes, to making batteries that will power the cars of the future right here in Ontario. We're also saying yes to more people building their career and making good money in skilled trades. Yes to keeping small businesses open. Yes to building more roads, transit, highways, and hospitals. My friends, make no mistake. This is a choice we face on June the 2nd. And it's a very clear choice. If you want excuses, if you want more delays, more empty talk, broken promises, well, you've got a lot of options in this election. But if you want to get it done, if you have one choice. It's time to get it done for every worker looking for a new and better job. It's time to get it done for the nurses and PSWs who want to work in Ontario and the Ontario communities who desperately need them. And it's time to get it done for our seniors who want to stay in their home, their own home, longer. And it's time to get it done for every driver stuck in traffic and every family frozen out of the housing market. It's time to get it done for Durham, and it's time to get it done for you. But first, we need your help, and we can't do it alone. We need everyone in this province to get out the message. It's a message of optimism, a message of Ontario's best days are ahead, a future with good jobs and bigger paychecks and endless opportunities. Friends, we have the team, we have the vision, and we have the plan. So on June the 2nd, everybody, let's do it, let's get it done. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
Good morning, Megan Fitzpatrick from CBC News.
Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah.
Good. Double question for you. I just need to get your reaction to
Sure.
what's already been happening this morning from your opponents. NDP leader Andrew Horwath announcing a plan for dental care for low and middle income Ontarians, free coverage. And Del Duca has announced capping class sizes at 20 students per class in all grades. If I can please get your reaction to both of those promises.
Well, first of all, thanks for the question. Let's start off with Mr. Del Duca promising capping of 20 students. Let's remind everyone, under the Liberals, they closed 600 schools. So they won't have to worry about capping anything because they won't have the schools to put the students in. They closed 600 schools. We spent $14 billion in building new schools. As for the dental costs, we have that program in place already, and it's working well. We're going to add on to our dental program, making sure we put over $90 million into dental. But it's about making sure that we put money back into people's pockets instead of the government's pockets. It's very simple. We're going to continue to make sure that we put money back in people's pockets, no matter if it's getting rid of the tolls on the 412, 418, cutting the gas tax, just getting rid of all the unnecessary taxes that people are facing.
Okay. And just as a follow-up, in terms of helping people put money back in their pockets, I wanted to know what you're going to do to help people who rent in this province. You've announced a number of measures to put money back in the pockets of people who own vehicles and drive.
Yeah.
But some people are struggling to pay their rent, especially with, when you came into power, you did change rent control laws in this province. What are you going to do to help people who can't pay their rent?
Well, we're going to make sure that we create a market. And right now, it's even hard to find a place to rent, but we did more housing starts ever in 30 years. We've had more rental starts than we've ever seen. We have to make sure that it's a supply and demand. We need to continue building, cut the red tape, standardize the process right across Ontario when it comes to getting a building permit to do rentals or building houses. We're going to build 1.5 million homes, and we're going to continue encouraging developers build rental units as well. It's a supply and demand issue.
Mr. Ford, why not get rid of the tolls on the provincial portion of the 407? And was it a mistake to sell the other part of the 407 back in 1999 by a previous government?
Wow, something that goes way back. I would have never sold it. It's like the Liberals selling Ontario Hydro, or Hydro One, I should say. We're going to continue, Robert, we're going to continue building the roads. And in 10 years, Robert, we're going to be at full capacity in every single highway, and it's not even 10 years. We're at full capacity. All you have to do, folks, is hop on that 401, and you're congested there, and there's millions of drivers congested. We need to continue to build the highways, build the roads. And the thing that I don't understand is actually mind-boggling is they're going to cancel it. They would cancel the 413, punishing the people right across this province, and we'll be crystal clear. We're building the 413 Bradford bypass, pulling those tolls off, putting more money back into people's pockets, and we're going to continue building roads.
Just at the point, are you going to get rid of the 407 toll that you can get rid of? The provincial portion of the road is publicly owned, a part of that road that goes into Durham.
Again, thank you, Robert, for that. We're going to continue building, and there will be a time that every single road in here, I just don't believe in gouging the people. I don't believe in going out there and tolling people. I think I told you this story. About a couple months ago, a gal in my office came up to me, and she said, it cost me $40 to travel on the 412 and 418. And I'm thinking, you're paying $40 a day? How do you survive? And we aren't going to do that. We're going to make sure that we continue to build the highways and the bridges and the roads right across this great province.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Ford. Colin DeMello with Global News.
Yep.
First week of the campaign stops obviously matter. Peter Bethlenfalvy, this is obviously his riding. Yesterday, NDP leader Andrea Horwath was campaigning in Pickering, and you're quick to chase her, holding an event in Pickering the very next day. How worried are you that the NDP could flip this seat?
No, I'm not worried. There's no better representative for Pickering than Peter Bethlenfalvy. What I've seen, what he's contributed not just to the region, as the mayor said, stepping up and fulfilling any requirements they have here, but he's one of the best finance ministers I've ever worked with. He's outstanding. He delivered an incredible budget, and you couldn't ask for a better representative, I should say, than Peter Bethlenfalvy. We're fortunate to have him, and the people of Pickering, Uxbridge are fortunate to have him as well.
Let's keep the clapping not for the Q&A. Thank you very much. So in this election campaign, Mr. Ford, who do you see as your primary opponent? You are currently attacking both Ms. Horvath and Mr. Del Duca. Who is your primary opponent in this election campaign?
I don't look at the opponents. I look at what we're going to do to move the province forward by making sure we put money back into people's pockets and we build infrastructure. You know, I love the story here. You know, we're at Pickering Chrysler, and it was a few days ago we just announced a $3.6 billion deal in Windsor to get Stellantis going. The same vehicles that are manufactured down in Windsor are being sold right here, creating more jobs. The batteries that are being created down in Windsor, they're going to go into those vehicles. We're being sold right here, creating thousands of jobs. And when you create thousands of jobs, you know, there's spin-off jobs. There's infrastructure, the roads, the bridges, the highways, the hospital. As the mayor mentioned, they're getting a new hospital down in Windsor, a new hospital. And that's the difference. We're focusing on the positive things and growing our economy. Right now, again, when I took over, Ontario had lost 300,000 jobs under the Liberals and NDP. Right as we stand, there's 500,000 more people working because we created an environment for companies to come here and hire people and thrive and prosper and grow. When that happens, and we've seen it right across the province, the whole community thrives, prospers, and grows. So we're going to stay positive. We're going to continue growing the economy.
Hi, Mr. Ford. Kelly
Hi.
Kreiderman, the Globe and Mail.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. In your campaign speeches so far, you're not talking about the pandemic. Do you think Ontario voters want you to reflect on your government's pandemic performance, or has that moment passed?
Well, we always have to be cautious, and you know, it's not even about me. It's about all the frontline healthcare workers that worked around the clock, and the grocery store clerk, and the truck drivers, and everyone. I've never seen and never been more proud of, I call it Team Ontario, the Ontario spirit, than we did throughout this pandemic. We always have to be cautious. I'll always be cautious, but we're focusing on moving forward, focusing on the economy, and rebuilding Ontario.
And you had an announcement with the Prime Minister right before the election campaign started. This campaign is very different than 2018 when you were campaigning against the carbon tax. Have you found it an ally in the federal Liberal government, and has that changed since 2018?
I'm just a strong believer of working collaboratively. You know, I don't care about political stripes. I just don't. What I care about is getting those jobs down in Windsor, getting the jobs in Oshawa and jobs here in the Durham region. We've worked very collaboratively with the federal government for a few years now. And the 444 municipalities, we work hand in hand like that. And we have an incredible relationship. I just believe in working together. That's what I believe in. When the municipal, the provincial, and federal governments work together, the private sector we're unstoppable. It's not one against the other anymore. It's Ontario versus other jurisdictions in the world, be it United States, Europe, Asia, wherever. It's Team Ontario, and we're doing well.
Hey, Mr. Ford. Aidan Shamandi, Queen's Park Briefing.
Aidan.
Hey there. So you talk about the 1.5 million houses you want to build, and you talked about the housing starts this year. But the budget predicts housing starts are going to fall to below 90,000 from now until 2025. Is this good enough?
No, we're going to make sure that we increase the housing starts. We had more housing starts than we ever have in 30 years. Those are staggering numbers, and we're just starting. We're working, again, collaboratively with all 444 municipalities to streamline the process, to standardize the process until we get the permits out the door. And no one understands it better than the mayor. He understands it. And you know, he's incredible. He actually gets things moving in his municipality of Uxbridge, a great town, and we're going to continue working with him. Our job is to give the tools, every tool we have as a province, to the municipalities to cut the red tape and cut the regulations and get the permits out the door and get housing started. It's very simple, folks, supply and demand, and we're getting the supply out there.
So with something like the Oakville Golf Course that the mayor, there was supposed to be housing built there, the mayor got that canceled. Is that something that is welcome in Doug Ford's Ontario?
Well, you know something, that Glen Abbey debate was going on forever. I listen to the municipalities, I listen to the people, and I listen to the mayor. But I'm going to tell you about the mayor. He's an incredible person. He is doing more housing starts than I think he's ever done before. He's cutting through the red tape. He's cutting through the regulations, and he's getting more housing built in Oakville. So I'm proud of him. I think the world of the guy. I really do. He's a champion.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Ford. Man Hamidi with the Canadian Press.
Yes.
Both the Liberals and the NDP said they won't support a Doug Ford minority government. And what's your reaction to this? Do you think the voters are looking negatively to the federal Liberal NDP agreement, or they're maybe looking at positively, given it might bring around things like pharmacare?
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for the question. It was a good question. You know, I don't get involved in the federal politics at all levels. It doesn't matter if it's Conservatives, Liberals, NDPs. I'm just zoned in on Ontario, because when Ontario does well, the whole country does well. And right now, we're doing well. And we're just going to continue working hard and building the economy, putting more money into people's pockets, and driving the economy. You know, we want to continue always being the leader in North America in job creation and economic development. We have a plan, we have a team, and we're going to execute the plan moving forward. And the plan is for the people.
Just before I move on to the next question, just I want you to give me some reaction on their statement that they wouldn't support a minority minority government if your party is elected to form a minority government.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So on June the 2nd, people are going to have a very clear choice. They're going to have a choice between a government that is getting things done. We're building, again, roads, hospitals, schools, right across the board, putting money back into people's pockets, creating hundreds of thousands of jobs. Not only was there 500,000 jobs, the environment was created for 500,000 new jobs that people are working today. We have 338,000 positions available. I need more people from around the world to come to Ontario and call it home and raise a family and start a business. That's what we need. We have a great plan. And the other choice is you sit there and you saw what happened for 15 years. They destroyed our province. They talk. They set up committee after committee, meeting after meeting. Nothing got done. Matter of fact, damage got done. We're going in the right direction in this province. I want to thank the people for their support, and I look forward to crisscrossing this province and getting the message out. So thank you, and God bless everyone. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.